This is a question. So table shows margin utility derived by consumer who devotes the whole of his weekly income of $42 to goods X and Y, whose unit prices are $3 and $6 respectively. You are given a table unit from 1 to 8. Two goods X and Y, margin utility is calculated. We are supposed to identify, in order to maximize its utility, which quantity of X and Y should be consumer purchase. So the theory, of course, marginal utility of X should be divided by price of X. Then it should equal to marginal utility of Y. Margin utility Y divided by price Y. We have to calculate marginal utility X divided by Px, then marginal utility Y divided by Py. 12 is the utility of X at the first unit. Price is 3. 12 divided by 3. So the answer is 4. In the next one, 11 divided by 3, 3.6. 10 divided by 3, 3.3. 4 divided by 3, 1.3. 5 divided by 3, 1.6. 6 divided by 3, 7 divided by 3. 8 divided by 3. 34 divided by 6. 30 divided by 6. 26 divided by 6. 22 divided by 6. 18 divided by 6. 14 divided by 6. 10 divided by 6. 6 divided by 6. Now we have to compare these two columns where values equal between these two columns. So then when we look at these, 3.6, 3.6. Another one, 2.3, 2.3. 1.6, 1.6. So we have to look at now which combination gives the maximum satisfaction. Maximum satisfaction. So in here, I take first of all 3.6, 3.6, which is highlighted with yellow color. Then the consumer purchases 2 units of X. Price of X is 3. Total is $6. And consumer purchases 4 units of Y. In that case, price of Y is 6. So the dollars 24. When we take these two together, 16 and 24, total income that the person had 42. But here only consumer spent $30. So it is not the equilibrium. This is not the equilibrium. Now we take green color one. Then consumer purchases 5 units of X. Price of X is 3, $15. And 7 units of Y. Price of Y is 6, 42. When we take total under this condition, 57. Income is not sufficient, even it is not the equilibrium. Now we take the next one. Consumer purchases 7 units of X. Price of X is $3.21. And 6 units of X. Price of X is 6, 36. In this case, the total is 57. 57. Let me check another condition. In the second one, six. There's a mistake here. In here there is a mistake. 9 divided by 3, it is 3. One more set is there. I shared 3 and 3. Right. Then the blue color one, 4 units of x multiplied by $3, 12. 5 units of x, it is 30. Then the total in here, 42. Right. So consumer now is having such an equilibrium position. If the consumer purchase, 4 units of x, 5 units of y, 4 units of x, 5 units of y. Why is that? The total income he can is what he call total expenditure is 42. Meanwhile, he has 42. Then equilibrium sense, consumer spend entire income in order to get the maximum satisfaction. There is no saving, I mean less even there is no too much even. So according to this question, consumer maximizes his utility. 4 units of x, 5 units of y means answer is this one. So this is how we calculate equimarginal principle. Utility per rupee spent on each good is the same. It is called consumer equilibrium. Right. After discussing such a theory, we'll start ordinal utility approach 2. What does ordinal utility approach represent? Consumer satisfaction. Consumers are rational, but satisfaction cannot be measured. They can't assign a value for goods. So then, such analysis was developed by John R. Hicks, in other words, one of economists. Earlier, the theory developed by Alfred Marshall. Here, John R. Hicks. So then, ordinal theory concentrate once again consumer equilibrium. Earlier also we considered consumer purchase as 2 goods. Right now we concentrate consumer purchases 2 products. If consumer purchases 2 products, consumers are considering substitutes, like they can purchase goods X or goods Y for the satisfaction. Whenever the price of either good changes, consumer may change the demand, number of goods purchased, and they consider the consumer consider the way of purchasing goods. So then, according to the ordinal utility theory, it is believed that utility is not measurable. This theory assumes that it is possible to make a comparison of the level of utility a person gains by consuming different bundles of goods over a given period. Indifference curve analysis. According to this theory, special set curve referred to as indifference curve is used in identifying consumer equilibrium. So the indifference curve means not difference. Difference means uh, as the consumer purchases one item, consumer gains a satisfaction. It can be covered up by consuming another good. So consumer is in indifference. Another practical example, for the dessert, you can have apple or banana. If the price of banana is high, you buy more apple. If price of apple is high, you buy more banana. But you buy anyways too, even different quantities based on the change in prices. You have such a response and particular quantities consumed. As a result, consumers are indifferent wherever they are. For example, 4 banana with 2 apple, or else 3 apple with 1 banana. Whatever. Such a change occurred based on the price. Here, we mainly concentrate changes in the price. So, consumers are indifferent throughout the indifference curve. Consumer satisfaction is the same. That is the another word for the indifference curve. Consumers are having similar satisfaction throughout the curve. According to this diagram, the curve sort of you study this kind of diagram under unitary elasticity. Similar principle. Under the unitary elasticity, elasticity was always 1 throughout the curve. Also, total revenue didn't change. It was the same throughout the curve. That's how rectangular hyperbola, such a diagram is illustrated. In here, same principle, sort of rectangular hyperbola. So the curve doesn't touch the axis. And we can draw many utility curve, indifference curve here. Low indifference curve, which are closer to origin, gives a very less satisfaction. Uppers gives greater satisfaction to consumers are having to consumer goods. Right. So then, an indifference curve is a graph of different combination of two goods that an indifference curve is a graph of different combination of two goods that provide person with equal satisfaction, or in other words, the same utility. For an example, any combination of goods X and goods Y that falls on indifference curve, it says U1. Sometimes we can label IC curve, indifference curve. Right now they label like U, doesn't matter. Will give consumer equal utility. Also, any combination of goods that falls on higher indifference curve will give the person higher utility. For an example, combination that fall on curve U2 will give person higher utility than combination that fall on curve U1. On the Other hand, any combination that falls on a lower indifference curve will give persons low utility. Utility person gains by consuming any combination of goods that falls on curve U2 is lower than utility curve that gained by consuming combination that falls on curve U3. So what did I mean? Earlier also explained upper curves, higher satisfaction, lower curves, which are closer to origin, lower satisfaction. After that, unlike the previous case, here consumer equilibrium is illustrated by using indifference curve and a budget line. Budget means income. Someone can buy number of units of X and Y. For example, apple and banana. As I told you for the dessert, what you purchase. So you have specific income or amount you can spend. If the price of apple is, if you are going to buy only apple, number of units can be illustrated by using these axes. Here represent number of units based on the price. At this price, you may buy only goods Y, no goods X. Over there, only goods X, no goods Y. Somewhere middle, along the curve, combination, X and Y, number of units. As well as equilibrium sense, budget line should equal to the indifference curve somewhere. So consumer purchases number of units based on the income. Earlier, so I told you that indifference curve represents similar satisfaction when you purchase two goods. So right now, consumer is having particular income. Based on the price of each good, consumers spend money to buy such a combination. Then equilibrium can be seen. So budget line, in other words, income line shows consumers' ability to purchase different bundle of goods. If the consumer spend all his her income on given two goods in the bundle, simply combination of two goods. Budget line indicates the different combination of goods a consumer with limited income could afford to purchase. All the combination of two goods represented by points on O below the budget line are possible alternatives a consumer can purchase. Given his or her limited income, any combination of two goods that represented by points above the budget line could not be purchased by consumer. Given any combination of two goods that represented by points above the budget line could not be purchased by consumer given his or her limited income. So over there, identifying consumer equilibrium through ordinal utility analysis. So I told you before, consumer equilibrium under this case, consumer is having a fixed income. Consumer can buy either Y or either X or else combination throughout the line. You can see now such a budget line and indifference curve intersect somewhere here. So this is called consumer equilibrium. Then assume consumer purchases 6 units of Y, 4 units of X, then consumer is at the equilibrium. Consumer does not buy any other combinations. If so, I mean, sometimes here 8 and 2, but consumer doesn't buy. Why is that? Budget line means particular, I mean, ability to spend amount on purchasing two goods are represented as the same time indifference curve even falls on the line. So equilibrium occurs at this location. So then equilibrium. So consume equilibrium over there. Then the budget line, whenever the indifference curve intersect, it is consume equilibrium. Then consume purchases number of units that the consumer can purchase. Then consumer doesn't buy this one because consumer does not have such an income. Even consumer doesn't buy this one because it is very little satisfaction. You see, this is the optimum because it does tally with the income. Under U1, income is greater than the consumer satisfaction. Therefore, it is not. U2 means income and the satisfaction is okay. Therefore, equilibrium. But U3, income is not adequate. Then consumer doesn't purchase. So it says finally, according to the indifference curve analysis, consumer equilibrium is the combination of goods that correspond with the point at which budget line is just tangent to a highest attainable indifference curve in the indifference map. What does indifference map means? More than one curve is drawn. It is called indifference map. Anyways, if you want to draw equilibrium, such a budget line and U2 curve is enough. So in the of the given consumer, at this point, the slope of the budget line is equal to the slope of the indifference curve. Budget line reflects the ability of consumer to purchase different combination of goods, given that the consumer spends all his or her income on given two goods. Indifference curve, on the other hand, reflects different combination of goods that give person equal utility. Indifference curve analysis shows the combination of goods that gives the person maximum utility given his or her budget constraint. Budget constraint means limited income. Right. That's all about consumer behavior, what we studied, cardinal utility approach and ordinal utility approach of consumer behavior. Right. If someone has a question, you can raise now your voice.